What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for the Real Housewives of New York, season 14, episode 13. So next week is the season finale, and then we have probably a two-part reunion, and we are done with New York just in time for all of the programming that is going to be coming in November, late October, early November. So let's get into it. So Bryn was out with the Roni Ron, so she wasn't in the majority of this episode. And when she does come in, she irritates me, but we'll get to that in a second, chat. We have Aaron and Sai debriefing over the conversation that Sai had with Jessel. And then we have Jessel talking to Jenna about it. We find out Jenna is on her way to Scotland, so we don't see Jenna in most of this episode. We do see a really cute scene with her and her son out shopping for glasses. As a lifelong glasses wearer, listen, the visit to the optometrist is a very important time, okay? The glasses that you pick out, now maybe not so much for Jenna's son, because he probably does have more than one pair, and it probably is not a once-a-year situation. But growing up, baby, you went to the optometrist once a year. You picked out your glasses once, and those were the glasses that you wore for the whole year. So you had to, it was pressure, because you had to get the perfect frames, because like now you have 3 or 4, people, we all, all of us buy all these different frames. They have all these different pretty cute frames, but it was pressure. But it was a cute scene to see her with her son, spending time with her son and all that good stuff. But Aaron and Sai, let me say this. I do understand Sai feeling a little weird about Jessel comparing her mom and her mom's alcoholism to her uncle and his alcoholism for a lot of reasons, okay? But the main reason is that is not to negate your situation with your uncle. But number one, you didn't even really live with your uncle until you were an adult. That is not the same as having a parent of being a child of an alcoholic and you grew up. She explained that she literally grew up seeing the disease overtake her mom, and that her mother was no longer her mother. And those are two different things. Now, I understand why Jessel was doing it. Jessel was trying to find a way to connect with Sai because she just is desperate. I think she's just desperate to be in a good space. I don't know if she's desperate to be Sai's friend, but I do feel like she's desperate to be in a good space with Sai. And she just couldn't. It just wasn't working. So we find out that the ladies are going out. The couples are going out to swingers, which is an adult, like, putt-putt indoor golf situation. We have one down here. And, of course, like I said, Bryn can't come. Uber's supposed to be coming. And then, of course, the 3 couples. Now, the other thing they discuss, Sai and Aaron, is this whole Vietnam situation. Now, listen, Jessel, I'm just going to tell you, it don't make no sense to me. I mean, maybe that's rich people problems, that you trying to get medallion status, and so you buy these, you find a good deal on these tickets to go to the other side of the world to build up your points so you can enjoy flying. He said, so, hopefully he can get enough points to take the kids, to take the family on vacation. Listen, I don't get it. I mean, I get the concept, but I don't get it. He said he bought 3 tickets to Vietnam because they were $900 tickets where normally they'd have been like, he said $15,000, but okay. I get that. He said he had already used 2 tickets, but he was trying to use the 3rd ticket. But then, of course, everything happened. The panorama, the borders closed. And so now he was trying to wait for the borders to open back up so he could effectively, use this ticket. I get all of that, but why you only stay 1 day, though? That's the part that I think has, well, they perplexed by all of it, but I'm perplexed by the fact that you only stay for 1 day. You literally stay on the plane for however many hours it takes to get to damn Vietnam from New York, which is a long time, to stay overnight. I mean, do you even leave the airport? It's confusing to me. It's confusing to Aaron and Sai. I feel like it's confusing to everybody except for Jessel and her husband. But listen, that falls under the category of if you like it, I love it. Because I'm totally confused by that whole situation. We see Uber expanding her brand. Uber Hot is going to now be a part of a signature sandwich down to a restaurant. We see her working with the chef to get the right, flavor, to come up with the right sandwich. And it looks like a really good opportunity for her. And I'm here for it. I was happy to see it for Jessel. Okay. I mean, for Uber. Lord, I done gave it to Jessel. I was here to see it for Uber. Uber says that basically the supermodel is working to finance the dreams of, to finance her company, because that's the money that, she's using to, to pour into her company. And I'm here for it, and I'm happy for her. We see Sai cooking with her aunt. It's her mom's little sister. And, she talked about how it really affected her mom's alcoholism and everything. She was the younger sister, and it was hard seeing her older sister. And we found out that Aaron's mom was a very talented artist. Like, those pictures were very, very talented. Her husband took pictures of the pictures and then created a book out of them. And it was very emotional. Her aunt started crying and everything. But it was beautiful. Like, that was really, really nice. It was a nice gift, but those pictures were gorgeous. Side. Her mom, she said that everybody in her family has that talent. They're artsy or they're musical, and that's sort of their talent. Like, that is the thing in her family. And so I thought that was really sweet. That was a really nice gift to give your aunt. So, child, we get down to the swingers, and Anne and her husband get there first. They order a bunch of food, specifically so Sai wouldn't complain. Baby, Sai said, I ate before I got here. And Erin said she was offended. She said, I'm offended. I mean, I feel like Sai must have felt like if she didn't bring no food, then she wasn't going to eat. Well, I mean, her experience has told her that spending time with you also means that she needs to make other provisions. Okay? Get it, provisions. The store in the hand. Okay. So, Sai and her man come through. When they find out that Jess and her man is coming. And Aaron is like, so is that going to be awkward for you? And Sai's like, girl, it's not going to be awkward because I don't care. I don't care. It's not going to be awkward. I'm not going to feel no kind of way because what? I don't care. So Jess and her man show up, and the guys, they're joking or whatever. Well, first they tell before Jess and her man get there, Aaron and Sai are talking to the husbands, and they let the husbands know that there was takeoff. Okay, there was sex, there was takeoff between Jess and her man. But now they want to confirm whether it's true. And see, this is what we're talking about, Aaron and Sai. When we say, when Jessel does tell you stuff, then you question what she tells you. Literally, she told you it happened, and y'all have been questioning it ever since. Like, I don't believe her. I mean, the way she said it, I don't think it's true. I mean, what she said, I just don't think it's true. So again, when Jessel says, I tell you, I'm honest with you, and you guys don't believe me. Now, to hear Sai tell the story, she feels like Jessel just don't tell the truth. So maybe that's why she questions it. But again, she literally told you that her and her husband had sex. First of all, I don't even think it's y'all business, but she did bring it up first. She brought up the fact that they was having a drought. But I just feel like y'all are just way invested in these two people's relationship. I mean, I'm just saying. So they tell the guys, it's y'all job to find out whether it happened or not, whether like confirm or deny it. Why they gotta confirm it? The girl told you it happened. None of them still understand the whole Vietnam thing. It's whatever. So like I said, Jess and her man show up. They clown a little bit about the whole sex thing. They talk about the whole Vietnam thing, which I just explained what he said about the tickets and why he was going and what the whole deal was. Which of course they are all still confused by because it makes no sense to them. And they were like, I mean, well, would your husband let you go to Vietnam? And would that be okay? And of course the other ladies are like, no, but that's not y'all marriage. I mean, it's not y'all's situation. It's not y'all's marriage. So the guys go to play golf first and the ladies stay back. So Aaron feels like this is a good opportunity for Sai and Jessel to talk. Aaron said, because Sai got up to use the bathroom. So Aaron is telling Jessel, look, I mean, I think you and Sai might need to talk because I think you still feel some kind of way about what happened, with lunch, and I, I just feel like you need to talk or whatever. So Sai comes back. She's like, what are y'all talking about? And Jessel was like, well, we were talking about lunch. And I know that Sai inwardly was like, fuck. Like, do we have to? Do we have to talk about it? But they end up having the conversation. And Sai tells her, look, I was irritated because you were late. You didn't even give me the courtesy of saying you were late. Now, Jessel, that was wrong. That was disrespectful of her time. And that was wrong. Then she says, and I didn't really appreciate you bringing up your uncle and comparing it to my mom. That actually offended me. And Jessel doesn't understand why that was offensive. Then, and she says, and, you're bringing up something from Anguilla that I like. Why? Why did you? She's like, I feel like you wanted to have lunch when it could have been a phone call. And Jessel was like, well, sometimes you just want to have lunch with somebody. She was like, well, if it was so horrible and you didn't care, like, why did you come? She said, I was just trying to be polite. Like, I honestly was just trying to be polite. So while Jessel and Sai are arguing, Uber shows up. And Uber is like, I don't know what the hell I just walked into, but girl, what is this? So the two of them are just arguing. They're going back and forth and they're arguing. And again, honestly, I'm over it. Like, I feel the way I felt last week. I feel like Sai didn't want to be there, and so it didn't help that Jessel was late. And Jessel, the whole I want to try to relate to you, by bringing up like I feel like you should have just left it when you brought up the uncle, when you cleared up the whole uncle thing. Girl, you should have just left it at that. Y'all should have just ordered dessert, because when you brought up the uncle, like after y'all cleared the air about you not living with a rich uncle, then you want to bring up the fact that not only was he rich, but he was an alcoholic and life was hard, and I really understand what you went through with your mom. No, you don't. There's just no comparison to that. And I know you didn't mean any harm by it, but you just didn't. So again, I'm kind of over the argument, but they argued about it. They went back and forth to the point where Sai just got up and walked off and was like, I'm over it. Like, fuck it. And Jessel was like, you're just spoiled. And she was like, well, you're a diva. Sai goes over to the guys, and the guys hate the fact that Sai's over there because they were having a nice little guy moment. And again, they get talking about this Vietnam thing. And Jessel's husband is like, I'm just confused. Like, why is my trip to Vietnam such an issue? Like, I'm just not understanding what we're doing here. They end up, Sai ends up coming back over, and honestly, it's just more of the same. Them arguing, and again, at this point, nobody's really going to see Sai. Jessel says that Aaron is Sai's parent, which of course now that becomes a whole issue, because now Aaron is like, how I get in this? Like, I wasn't even talking. Like, the two of y'all were talking, and Jessel calls her a mean girl. She says, this is mean girl behavior. You're being very juvenile, and again, Sai was like, and I'm not, and ultimately, nothing gets resolved. Actually, I really think it gets worse. And Uber leans over to Sai and lets Sai know that she got herself a new man. Only reason why I bring that up is because I feel like that comes up later on in the next episode from the previews. And the production asked Uber, well, why aren't you telling anybody else? Why are you only telling Sai? She said, oh, because I know Sai can keep a secret. It's still a kind of a new thing, so I really don't want to put it out there. It's a new thing or whatever. So then they want to know why Uber is single. Why she's so beautiful, she's so gorgeous, why is she single? Child, she ain't found nobody. So later on, Jessel, Bren is finally out of quarantine, and Jenna must be back from Scotland. So they're over at Jessel's house talking. We found out Bren is throwing a birthday party. It's got some weird thing where you wear a mask, and she wants everybody to just be weird and be free and all of that. And Jessel is trying to tell Aaron and Bren what happened. Now, Jenna and Bren. Now, Jenna does let Jessel know, doing the comparison between your uncle and the mom, that probably was a miss. I can understand why Sai was a little offended by it. I know you didn't mean no harm, but I do get it. Brynn is telling her, look, girl, you need to put your foot down with Sai. Like, Sai is going to respect you more if you call her out on her shit and you put her in her place. The more that she feels like she can, like, basically bulldoze over you, she's not going to have any respect for you. Now, on one hand, I do understand that's how things generally work. But on the other hand, I don't think that's Sai's issue with Jessel. I don't know what Sai's issue is with Jessel, but, you know. So then they start relating to Jessel all the things that Aaron said about Jessel's marriage. They talked about the fact that Jessel's husband wasn't wearing his wedding ring. They talked about the whole Vietnam thing. Oh, that's the other thing. Sai called Jessel a liar because the whole Vietnam story didn't line up. Because she said, well, you told me he was going to Vietnam next week, but yet he's here. And now he's saying that he has to wait until it opens up. Well, as Jessel was trying to explain, Sai kept cutting her off. And she was like, well, I'm trying to explain it to you, and you keep cutting me off. But basically, when her husband explained it, I already explained it to y'all. I jumped ahead. But he basically explained it that the borders were closed. He had to use the ticket. And the ticket is booked, but he has to wait until the flights open up. Now that the borders are opening and the flights are opening up, he's basically going to be going to Vietnam any day now. I don't think that was a lie so much as the information just was staggered. Like, I feel like Sai was trying to use that as an example to make it seem like Jessel is telling willful lies. I don't think it was a lie. Once they explained it, it's not a lie. You know, Jessel gave you the information she had at that time. The information has changed. Anyway. So then Aaron, Brynn. And here's my issue with Brynn. Brynn admitted in her confessional that she was absolutely stirring up trouble. She was bringing up all the things that Sai and Aaron said about Jessel and her marriage to stir up trouble. Then turns around and says, but I really don't think we should be playing with people's marriages and relationships. Well, you literally just said that's what you were doing. I don't know. Y'all, I be really trying with Brynn, and I just can't. I know there are people out here that stand for Brynn. I cannot. And so basically, that is pretty much where the episode ends. Thank God next week is the finale. That's all I can say. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.